I have a TikTok video that I would like to react to. So without wasting your time, let's dive right in the video. Let's go.
This man said, why every time I meet a woman, she's behind on her bills or she needs help with a bill? If that's something that you're questioning and it's bothering you, upsetting you, that you have to bring it to the internet, you don't need to be meeting women right now. You need to be focusing on yourself and getting your life together so that that doesn't bother you. Ew.
If you ask me, he has a valid concern. Why every woman he met was broke? Why? He has a valid concern, sweetheart. Anyways, it seems like you didn't like it and you took it personal. Look, I don't have a problem with what you are saying because we understand the message. The underlying tone of this video is to basically tell men that if they are broke, they should not be dating. That is basically what you're trying to say to that man, but to men in general. You know what I mean? I usually have a problem with a statement like that. Now listen to me. The statement in itself is true. If you're broke, you shouldn't be dating. But I have a problem with the mentality that is voicing this statement because a lot of women think that they could just sit around, be broke, and deserve a rich man. Well, if a woman says to a man that if you're broke, you shouldn't be dating. If you're a rich man listening, go marry a woman like that. Go marry a woman like that. It is a shame, man, because broke men actually know their place in society. They know that they need some sort of improvement financially, looks wise, stuff like that. But the problem is broke women and rich women have the same standards. Y'all need to stop being delusional broke women because most of the broke women who talk to men a certain way have a mentality that's broke. So I have a problem with your broke mentality. Look, every man out there, right, is probably willing to date a woman who's not really doing well financially. But if your mentality is allowing you to say things like, oh, if you're broke, you shouldn't be dating me. If you're a man, I think you should get away from that. That is not the type of mentality you would want your woman to have. And it's a shame, man. It is a shame to hear women nowadays speak like this because if we tell you that you are dating men for money, you deny it all the time. So make it make sense. Well, you don't date for money, but if a man is broke, they shouldn't date you. Hey, these women, make it make sense. So yes, I'm going to say it. You guys date men for money. And again, a lot of broke women just sit there, think that they shouldn't improve anything about themselves and deserve a rich man. Good luck with that. That's why sometimes you actually manage to get a rich man, but you will never keep it because he realizes that you being broke is not just about your financial situation, it's your mentality. Women nowadays should be ashamed of speaking like this because women shouldn't be talking like this. So you don't have it in you to build with a man. You don't have it in you. You really don't have it in you. Look how you're talking. And a lot of you are actually hiding behind the fact that you guys are actually gold diggers to say things like this. Yes, you are. Y'all not going to like what I'm saying, but it's the truth. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself because the problem I have with the mentality, again, the statement in itself is valid. It is actually a good advice to give to men. Look, if you're broke, you shouldn't be dating. And I know the reasons. We all know the reasons. But the problem is the mentalities that usually say those things are not good mentalities for real, because these are people that think that they could just sit there, right, and not do any sort of improvement about themselves and deserve a man that is financially stable. Like, why? Right? Obviously, the only thing you know of provision is money. That is why I have a problem with a mentality like that. Thus, making a mentality like yours a big problem, and you yourself should not be dating because the only thing you know of provision is money. Because when you're talking about I want a provider and stuff like that, it's all about money. It's like the only thing you know about a man being a provider is money. A man is way more than that, right? And obviously a statement like this, if you really want to stretch it really, really far, it's not gonna make sense because it's easy to sit somewhere in America and be privileged as fuck and to say some shit like this. And this goes for both men and women, by the way. I still would like to operate in reality and stand on the side where things are actually realistic, because it's billions of people on earth and poverty dominates. So you mean to tell me that, in areas where poverty dominates, or in areas where men and women are broke, they shouldn't just be dating? Obviously, you're gonna say that this doesn't apply to women. For some reason, women are just not. They're just special human beings, and they deserve special treatment. Hey, well, it's not realistic. It is not realistic because there's a lot more broke and poor people than rich people, right? The people that are really doing well financially are a very small percentage of the whole of the entire population. So it's like saying that if you're broke, you shouldn't be dating. Somewhere it's an insult to womanhood and also to a lot of things, because a lot of you don't actually come from great financial background, including myself. If we all want to be realistic, you are probably the only one who started making money just because you became a registered nurse. And now a man shouldn't date you because you are a registered nurse and you make a certain type of money. It does not make sense. Look, if you want to make it a standard for yourself, let it be, then just keep it pushing. But to come online and tell men not to date you because they are broke, I think it's a shame. It is a shame, man, because your great parents were broke. Your great parents were broke. Your parents were broke. Your grandparents were broke. A lot of you are the one who actually broke the cycle. You just started breaking the cycle. I understand the whole thing about, ending generational curses, especially financial curses. But come on, man, not like that. Not like that. Again, somewhere it is just not realistic. It is a valid statement. I get it. I understand. Men's supposed to be a provider and stuff like that. But you guys are making it all about money. And men and women are talking about this nonsense too. I don't totally agree with, because it's the mentality, because it's not realistic, but the statement itself is pretty valid, and I get it. But again, if the mentality is making the statement, all about money when it comes to provision, and I have a problem with the mentality that says that. And most of the time, women are the ones saying that to men, and I'm like, okay, if you actually believe that you have the right to tell men not to date you because they are broke, so men also have the right to not date you if you are a broke woman. It's just fair. It's just fair again, because I refuse for broke women to think that they actually deserve rich men. I refuse for broke women to have the same standards as rich women. I refuse it. Why? You are not as special. You're broke. You are broke. Go improve your financial situation. Man, this is crazy, man. How did we even get here? Honestly, the kind of women I'm accustomed to don't speak like this, because they actually know what provision is. When they look at a provider, they know money is a huge component, but it's not all about being a provider. There's so many things that comes along with being a provider. And just because a man has money does not mean that he's a great provider. You guys are really confusing a lot of stuff, man, for real. Again, I get the point. Somewhere me and you, right? You in this video, me and you, we can understand each other. We really can. I get the point, but it is the mentality, because if you hear a man like this complaining about a certain woman's situation and you're telling him to just focus on yourself and not do that because you think that broke men should not be dating and stuff like that, it is a mentality that I don't agree with. You understand? It is not about the statement that you are trying to communicate. It's the mentality, the position you take, the position you put yourself in to communicate. That is, I don't like that position. You shouldn't be talking like this, because a lot of you who actually say stuff like this are broke, for real. For real. A lot of you don't know what it takes to make money. A lot of your standards are just so unrealistic that you think that, it is so crazy to me, right, that they would sit there broke as fuck, struggling to make $30,000 a year, and yet when you ask them, what is your man supposed to make yearly, they say $1 million, and yet you are even struggling to make $50,000 a year. I thought you were just as smart and strong and equal to the men. So if you have that standard for your man, why don't you reach that standard? Why is it so hard for you to make $1 million a year if you're just as equal or strong and whatever better? You'll just reach it. Obviously, anybody who's out here trying his best to make money won't be talking like this because they know how hard you have to work to be able to make money. I don't want to make this video too long, but yeah, man. And we see more and more of them every day on TikTok. Anyways, let's talk about this in the comment section. Like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.